Hello, welcome to Anime Rundown. Today we are going to recap the anime Angel Beats. The episode begins with our MC Otonashi waking up without any memories in a school ground. Immediately on waking, he meets a girl, Yuri, with a sniper rifle pointing at a girl at a distance. From her he came to know that they are in the afterlife and wants him to join her group, the SSS, to fight against the angel, which just makes him confused. Because of that, he walks up to the girl Yuri was trying to shoot to know what was going on there. She tells him she isn't an angel and that she is in the student council, but confirms that they are indeed dead. And to prove it, she makes a sword out of thin air and stabs him. He wakes up terrified to find that he is in the infirmary with his bloodied shirt beside him, confirming that he was indeed stabbed. Then a boy in purple hair and a halberd started ranting about Otonashi defying Yuri and slashes him 100 times. He wakes up later and tries to find a way to escape this world, for that he went to the principal's office. On turning the knob, a giant hammer came down and knocks him out of the window. He wakes up later to know that he was brought into the room by the SSS members, and from Yuri came to know that this was their headquarters. There he meets some of the other members and decided to join SSS for the time being. Yuri later on explains to Otonashi more about the afterlife and the existence of numerous people called non-playable characters or NPCs, which are not humans but looks like them. That night SSS prepares for Operation Tornado, a plan to steal meal tickets from the NPCs. The plan was to distract the NPCs using the banned girl's dead monster of the SSS in the cafeteria while using a huge fan to blow the meal tickets outside. The others fought with the angel long enough for the plan to succeed and they retreated while snatching meal tickets. Otonashi, even though still confused, decided to stay in SSS till he gets him memories back. In the next episode, since SSS is low on gunpowder, Yuri decided to go to the guild where SSS allies makes weapons. They could make anything from dirt. The guild was built underground. They initially disabled the traps, but when they came to know that Angel was after them, the guild re-enabled the traps. One by one the members started to die because of the traps. In the end, only Otonashi and Yuri were the ones left remaining. While taking a rest, Yuri tells him about how her 3 younger siblings were murdered when burglars entered their home while the parents were out, which is her reason to fight against the cruel fate God gave her. By the time they reached the guild, Angel was almost there, so she decided to blow up the guild. The guild members decided to follow her plan and relocate to a previous guild location. When Angel arrives, Yuri buys them enough time to escape to the old guild where they immediately set to work. In the next episode, Yuri decides to break into Angel's room and crack the password on her computer. For that, she decided to use the banned girl dead monster to distract Angel. But she feels like the new song by the band's vocalist and guitarist Iwasawa to not be distracting, so Iwasawa decided not to play that song even though she was downtrodden. Yuri planned to hack into the computer with the help of hacker Takayama aka Christ while the band played in the auditorium. Otonashi, while taking a break from the shooting practice, happened to hear the band practice. He talked to Iwasawa while she took a break. She told him how her parents would always fight because her father was alcoholic to the point she couldn't even sleep. She eventually escaped into the world of music after discovering that the vocalist of a band, Sad Machine, had a similar background like her. From there she found an old guitar and started performing in the streets, eventually planning on making it big in Tokyo after graduation. However, an old injury caused when her father hit her with a wine bottle let her die from stroke. She went back to practice after that. When the operation began, the band began to perform in the auditorium while the others, with the help of Takayama, breaks into Angel's room. Otonashi, on realizing it's an ordinary room, tries to turn on the lights but is quickly restrained. As the band continued playing, a displeased Iwasawa decided to sing their trump song. But they are soon found by the teachers and Angel. Takayama, on hacking the laptop, was only able to find the list of the students. Dissatisfied, the group decided to fall back. At the same time, the teachers restrain the band members and confiscate their instruments. However, one of the teachers threatened to throw away the guitar, because of which Iwasawa breaks free and knocks the teacher. The other members also escaped and Iwasawa started playing her new song. One member turned the speaker so everyone could hear it. This gave SSS a bit more time to hack to find that the powers of Angel were not given to her by God, but she made them herself, thereby saying that there might be no God that's opposing them. As she finished the song, she vanished to heaven on understanding her purpose was to change people with her songs. This indicates that one doesn't have to obey the angel to disappear, but just have to find their own purpose. In the next episode, a boy is seen fielding during a baseball match. The boy is revealed to be Hinata. With Iwasawa gone, Yui was suggested by Otonashi to become the lead vocalist, but the other members did not agree because she was the complete opposite of Iwasawa. Yuri suggested that they should participate in the upcoming baseball tournament, although they may get obliterated for doing so, and if an SSS team did worse than an NPC team, they would get a penalty worse than death. Hinata started by recruiting Otonashi, but all the other athletic members chose Takamatsu instead. So without much choice he recruited the weird ones like Yui, Shina, and Noda. The rest of the team consisted of NPCs. During the first rounds, all of the SSS teams won. Hinata's team also won even though the team was brimming with anti-teamwork. Angel too was participating and her team consisted of the school baseball team NPCs. One by one all the SSS teams lost to Angel, until only Hinata's team was left. The game was even until Otonashi bribed Matsushita into joining the team, which gave them a boost. As the game was nearing its end, Hinata recalls to Otonashi how he missed a fly ball in a similar baseball game in life before getting seduced into drugs by one player and being neglected by all the rest. Otonashi believed that if they won the game, Hinata would disappear. Just then Otonashi's pitch resulted in a similar pop fly. Hinata was going to catch it, but Otonashi runs to him to prevent him from disappearing. However, before that, Yui came from behind Hinata to grapple him as revenge, thus Angel's team won the game. In the next episode from Yuri, we understand exam time is near and it was time to sabotage Angel. According to Yuri, since school still exists, students are required to attend exams and get good grades. Yuri was planning to interfere with Angel during the exam so that she fails. Her motive was that if she was really human, then she would be traumatized by failing. Yuri assigns Takamatsu, Hinata, Uyama, Takayama, and Otonashi to handle the mission. At the day of the exam, students were seated at random, dictated by drawing numbers from a box. Except for Takayama, everyone else failed to get the desired spot. Takayama was instructed to switch papers with Angel when she is distracted by the others with their antics. All seemed fine till Takayama pointed out they didn't know her name. Otonashi tried to go to the faculty room but was stopped by Angel, who made sure that no one leaves the room at the time of exam, but he got her name was Kanade Tachibana when they introduced themselves to each other. First exam was physics and Hinata was instructed to distract the class, but his outburst failed, but the mission was completed with the help of a jet propulsion under his seat, which rocketed him to the ceiling. The next exam was history, and Takamatsu tried to distract everyone by stripping his shirt, which also failed until mission was completed when he was also launched into the ceiling. The last exam was English and Uyama tried to distract Kanade by confessing during the exam. He got turned down really fast, but instead of getting the punishment like the other two, Hinata was the one who got launched, thus completing the mission. Otonashi, on the other hand, was thinking about what changes this will bring. The day after, rumors about Kanade getting 0 marks got spread and Yuri announced it to the SSS. Otonashi felt sorry for their victim. At the gym, students were gathered and Kanade resigned as the student council president, replaced by the vice president Naoi. Yuri was happy with the victory and told the others it would be easier now to take down Kanade. Thus she announced Operation Tornado that night. Yui took the vacant spot left by Iwasawa and performed. Meanwhile, Otonashi was having doubts if she was the real enemy now. Kanade appears, but Otonashi calls off the assault since she doesn't have any killing intent. She walked into the concert and to the vending machine. Yuri orders Yusa to turn on the wind fans to conclude the operation. In the middle of this, Kanade also loses her coupon of Mappo tofu, considered to be impossible to eat by others. At the school cafe, Hinata notices Otonashi has a Mappo tofu coupon, which even though spicy was really tasty according to the two of them. Yuri then tells them that it was Kanade's coupon and felt like they were assuming wrong things about her. In the middle of this, students led by Naoi, the president, stormed the room and surrounded the SSS members, and he announced that they were going to be punished for their disobedience. Under the orders of Naoi, the SSS members were taken to the reflection room for some time till they were released. Afterwards, they understood that they were now at a disadvantage since Angel was no longer in control. Upon returning to the headquarters, they decided to keep a low profile by making trouble in class but didn't interfere with the other students. Before leaving, Yuri gave Otonashi a walkie-talkie. Inside the classroom, some of the SSS members were doing their own thing and not participating. While Yui was going to the restroom, Naoi appears, which led the SSS members to flee. Otonashi returns to the classroom and sees Angel sitting there and tries talking to her. Upon mentioning mapo tofu and how he'd like to treat her with some, she accepts. They were eating at the cafeteria alone when they were confronted by Naoi, who said they were breaking the rules and took them to the reflection room. A while later, he was woken up by rumbling sounds. He tried to use the device Yuri gave him to communicate outside. Yuri exposes that Naoi was not an NPC but a human. She told Otonashi that they were trying to engage with Naoi, but it was hard since he was using NPC as shields as he massacres SSS members. She then tells Otonashi to find Kanade and ask for her assistance. Otonashi, confused and anxious, asked for help. She tried to get out of the room, but it was made to resist her guard skills. She reveals that her skills are for self-defense and not for offense. She tried 3 more versions of her skills, which gave Otonashi an idea of getting out, which succeeded. When they reached the ground, they found all the members lying injured by Naoi and his subordinates. Naoi, on seeing Kanade, asked her if she is ready to rebel against God, which he is referring to himself. He said that his purpose was to give them eternal rest. He talks about his hypnotic ability with which he was controlling the NPCs. Naoi then used it on Yuri. For a moment she saw her dead siblings happy. She rejects them because she knew she has failed in protecting them. It was interrupted when Otonashi punches Naoi from behind. He claims that it was not right to make people vanish with false memories. And he questions about Naoi's life. Because of this, Naoi remembers about his life. He was born into a famous pottery family. He had a brother who was a prodigy, but he died in a car accident. So to turn Naoi into a worthy successor, his father gave him strict training. He was able to get an award, which was pale in comparison to his brother, but he was still happy. But then his father became bedridden, his life came to a standstill, and the family name faded into anonymity. Otonashi hugged and assured him that the reason he was there was because he had struggled to live a real life. Naoi then comments that all he wanted was to have someone who would acknowledge his efforts and recognize him for what he was, and started crying. Thanks for watching. The second part of the recap will be linked below. For more anime recap videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you don't miss any notifications. Bye.